Johnny Murray here, and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be doing a tier list on all the Marvel Rivals characters. This game recently just released, and it is absolutely crushing it. It just passed 10 million players in 3 days, which is absolutely insane. I can't say I didn't see this coming, though, because from the get-go, from the very first trailer, I knew this game looked really, really fun. I knew this game looked really awesome, and I was very, very intrigued and interested to play this game. And I've been playing it for the last, 3 days. I absolutely love it. I absolutely love it. Honestly, this is some of the most fun I've had in video games, not just this year, but in a lot of years. Like, this truly is a live service game made for me. This is a live service game done right and done well. And not only that, it's just a really great game as well. There's so much passion and love and effort put into this product. It really just shows levels above so many other live service games and just games, even Marvel games. This is one of the best Marvel games I would say I've played in a long, long time. Not to say there haven't been good Marvel games, but this one is really, really great. And a big part of that is the characters. The characters, there's a lot of great designs. I'm going to talk about that as well when we reach the characters, just their designs and stuff. But also the fact that this is a hero shooter, and the fact that each character has abilities and a different skill set, different move sets, and the skill and the difficulty and the efficiency of each character is going to vary. So we got to talk about that, and we're going to be doing a tier list for my 3 days of playing, and I've played about 20 hours of the game now. I've played multiple characters, I've faced multiple characters, I've had multiple team comps playing with multiple people, so I have a pretty good gist of who I think are the best characters. And granted, this is a, not day one patch, but this is a base game, like season 0 start of the game tier list. We're gonna be doing more tier lists in the future when things updates, when meta changes, and when new seasons arrive, new characters get added. But this is gonna be our very first tier list of this game. I expect me to be making content on this game for a long, long time. I do feel like this will be a game that is just a mainstay for me in my gaming rotation, and I'm really excited about that because it is really, really fun. But let's get to it. Enough yapping. All right. So we're just gonna go in, I guess, alphabetical order, right? So I have the tier list here where we have all the, or should we go by class? We should go by classes. So let's start with support. Adam Warlock. So Adam Warlock is one of the supports I actually like playing. He's not my main or anything, but I do enjoy playing as Adam Warlock for the fact that I think his attacks are pretty fun for the most part. I think his primary shooting is very accurate and can almost be classified as a sniper in a way, more like a marksman rifle in a type way. But also he has the where you can hold down and charge a like explosive blast kind of in a way. I find that really, really cool. I think his healing is really good for the most part. I think the cooldown is a little bit long in terms of having a lot of healing. But I do think the part where Adam Warlock stands out is the fact that he can revive teammates. He is definitely a playmaker in a sense when it comes to the support class, in where he could really change the tide by bringing back a tank, by bringing back another support, by bringing back that high DPS. I think he is one of those playmaker supports, in which case I don't feel like there are very many of those in the support class. At the same time, I do feel like his just general healing is weaker compared to some other supports. I'm not saying it's bad, but it is weaker compared to some others, and I do just think there are better options overall when it comes to being a support, as well as his damage output isn't the greatest. There's definitely higher damage output supports, but for the most part, I think he's a great option, and I do think he has a lot of benefits to him. I think he's a B tier character. He just does what he's supposed to, and he's very specific, and if you play him right, he can be very, very good. The next support, Cloak and Dagger. Now, this one's an interesting one because this one's obviously a fan favorite right now. There's a lot of Cloak and Dagger players, and for a good reason. She's really fun. I love the fact that she can turn into the two different characters. But also, I just think she has a lot of options and a lot of versatility when it comes to this character, because she does have some pretty good healing stuff with her barrier, with just her shooting and stuff like that, but then also her damage is actually pretty solid as well. I typically see a lot of Cloak and Daggers get really high amount of kills during games, and I think that just goes to show you the versatility of Cloak and Dagger. Now, do I think that Cloak and Dagger can bring a lot to a team? I don't know if it's game changing. I don't know if it's top tier, but I do think it's really, really good. Typically, when I have a Cloak and Dagger on my team or I'm facing Cloak and Daggers, they're usually either A, a problem, or B, they're really, really helpful. And I just never get bad feelings about Cloak and Dagger players. And so I think for that, I'm going to go A tier. I do think Cloak and Dagger is very good. Like, if I had the choice, if I was a damage or a tank, and my friend was like, all right, I'm going to go support. I could play anybody you want. Who would I go? I'm choosing Cloak and Dagger over Adam Warlock. But I do think both characters are very good. Moving on, the next support we're going to talk about is Jeff the Land Shark. I mean, the GOAT. Let's just be honest here. Jeff is the GOAT, the Land Shark himself. He's very, very good. Now, this one's an interesting one because I think you have to look at this from multiple perspectives. How good is Jeff to play? How good is Jeff as a support? And how good are some of his abilities? Because I think that can range. I think him as a character and playing as him, I think is very generic in a way. I think he's very simple. He has a spray heal, and then he has an attack shot. He can go underground, and he can place bubbles. That's really good. I think from a support standpoint, he is one of the best in terms of healers. His healing is very, very good. The little spray that he does can heal really, really fast and heal up a lot at one time. I think his bubbles, if played right, I think can be very, very helpful as well. But I do think he's very easy to be targeted, and I don't feel like he has very many options outside of that. I mean, going underground and climbing the walls is great, but let's be honest, is that really going to change the tide of the game? No, I think it's just neat and it's fun as Jeff the Shark. Where Jeff the Shark really stands out here, though, is his ult. His ultimate is literally game-changing. It is one of the best ults in the game. I think it might be the most broken ult in the game. The fact that you can basically grab the entire team, if done right, and just throw them off the edge. Boom, they're all dead. It's that easy. But I do think overall Jeff is a really, really good character. I'm not going to say he's top tier because I don't think him as a just general character is necessarily broken or over the top amazing. I just think he's very, very good with an insane ult. And so I think he's going to go A tier for me. Loki. This is another hard one because I think Loki's versatility and just how different he is compared to every other support is very good. I do think Loki is an interesting character to have on your team. I think the problem with Loki is I don't see very many fits for him. Like, I just don't think he works very well, specifically with a lot of characters. In a sense of him placing clones, him doing his, like, going a hidden thing, and just the amount of damage output he has. It's not like, you know, something like pairing Storm up with Hela, where they just work really, really well because they both have super high damage output. Storm can damage boost. Their ults are absolute big clearers. Loki doesn't have any of that. He's so different compared to everyone else. He's kind of his own thing. Therefore, I think in terms of team comp, I don't think he's necessarily a choice that I would be like, yo, you should go Loki. I would want something like Jeff or Cloak and Dagger over Loki. But I do think Loki heals really, really well, even though it has a really, really long cooldown, which is the biggest problem for him. But I do think, again, where Loki kind of shines is his ultimate, being able to shapeshift into any character and you get their ult almost instantly is huge. It's huge. I mean, imagine shapeshifting to Scarlet Witch and then using her ult. That's literally game-changing. Imagine turning to Jeff, using his ult. That's game-changing. And so overall, I think he's a very, very good support. I'm going to go A again. I know we're going A lot, but I do think the support class is among the best in the game right now. Luna Snow. This is a tough one. Because to me, there are easily a top 2 when it comes to support in the game. The question is, do I think Luna Snow is S or A? Because I think Luna, number 1, is one of the most played supports. And her ult is really, really good. It basically just makes anybody in your circle invincible. That's a simplified way of explaining it. And I do think that she's interesting in terms of the fact that she can freeze people and that she does have a decent damage output. I do think when it comes to the support class, is she the best healer? No. I think Jeff and Mantis are better healers. But I think her ability moveset is one of the more useful. I do think she's also just a really fun character to play, from what I've heard from a lot of teammates and just people I've seen on social media. And so I do think I'm going A tier with her. I'm going to put her top of A tier specifically. I'm also going to, I guess I'll try to order this in a way. I'll put Jeff above these two. I think that they're both really good. I think Luna's really good. To me, if I had to say, and again, this is just based on personal experience, and I know I may be a little bit biased here because Mantis is my main, or is my support main, but genuinely no one is comparing to Mantis when it comes to the healing department. Her healing is just easily one of the best in the game, as well as she has really, really good damage output. And her ult is basically just Luna Snows, except you gain a movement boost as well. It's just a big circle that does so much insane healing that you're basically invincible to that point. So I'm gonna go with S tier for Mantis. I think she's just really good. She can damage boost, she can heal, have really, really good healing. She can damage boost herself, in which case she already has great damage output. She has a movement boost pretty much at all times. And her ult is, I mean, just as good as Luna Snows. And so I do think when it comes to Mantis, she is the all-around best support in the game. I could definitely see the argument for A tier just because there's not many moments where Mantis can change the game. But I think from just my personal experience, usually when I play Mantis, we end up doing a lot better. And I don't know if that's just because Mantis is a really good character or if I'm just really good at Mantis. I really don't know. All I know is from personal experience, I do think Mantis is the best support. And I know I'm a little biased because she is my main, but just genuinely, I think she's a really, really good character. Rocket Raccoon, I think I'm going to go B here with Rocket. I've yet to see a Rocket that's caused problems for me and my team. I do think Rocket is interesting in the fact that he does have revive capabilities and that he does have pretty solid damage output, but for the most part, he's really squishy. He can be easily killed. He doesn't bring too many options when it comes to the table. And yeah, I think overall he's just a solid support. He's a good option, but I don't find him a big game changer or a big problem in any sense of the way. But yeah, so there are I guess 7 support classes. So now we're gonna go to tanks. Now here's what's interesting. I don't think there is a definitive best tank in the game right now. I think there are 3 really, really great tanks. And then everyone else is kind of just good or like mid. However, what I will say is I think tank might, I don't know. I was going to say tank might be the most important role here. I think support is the most important role because there is no passive healing in the game. Meaning if you don't have a healer, no one can heal, period. That's pretty much it. But let's get started with tank. Captain America. For sure, one of the most annoying characters. For sure, he's super duper annoying. And the fact that he just does not die. He does not die. Oh my gosh, this dude can last forever. His shield is really, really good. His ult is really annoying. The fact he can just assemble and then run away. But his damage is not all that great, and I don't feel like he has very many useful abilities otherwise. I want to go A just because of the fact that he has caused such a problem for me and my team in the past. But do I think he's a really good tank? I'm going to go... Oh, man, that's a tough one. I don't want to keep putting guys A because genuinely, let me just tell you right now. I think this game is in a really good spot to the point where I think for the most part, every character is good in their own sense. I don't think there really is truly a bad character outside of maybe 1 or 2. Everybody has uniqueness. Everybody is good, useful in their own right. I just think some are better than others. I think for the most part, this game is pretty well balanced. Obviously, there's going to be balancing issues in every game, but I think for the most part, this game is in a really good state, where I do think there are going to be a lot of A's, a lot of B's, and some S's. So I'm going to go Captain America A. He's just caused too much of a problem for me to not put him that high. Next, we're going Doctor Strange. I think, honestly, I'm going to go C with Doctor Strange. I've yet to really find Doctor Strange all that useful or a problem, or I was so happy I had a Doctor Strange in my team. The portal is cool, but you very rarely actually see it used in a meaningful way. So I am going to go C. I do think his ult is cool, but again, I have yet to see it used in a game-changing way. I think he's fun. I don't think he's very great when it comes to tanks. He's definitely not my first option. Groot has got to go A. For the simple fact, this dude has so much health, and the fact that you can pair him up with Jeff the Shark is just so awesome. And then I will say, I do think Groot and his walls can be definitely if you play his walls right, they could really be useful for your whole team and just enemies and stuff like that. But I do think his ult's kind of underwhelming. And then I do think his just primary attack is kind of just whatever. He really is that tank to just keep all the attention of the attacks and to just never die and to just sit on point, and to pair up with some of your other teammates. But that's exactly what tanks are for, and so I can't rank him lower for being something that he's not. Like, he's a great tank, and he's going A tier. Hulk. I think Hulk is C. I think Hulk is C. I could even debate putting him D. I used to love Hulk when I first started. I was playing Hulk a lot. Until I realized that people, especially if you know how to play DPS in a great way, you can pretty much just get easily bodied. Like, if an Iron Fist comes up on you, if a Punisher comes up on you, if, like, a Hela or Hawkeye gets a hold of you, you could just die really quickly. Because even though you have a lot of health and you're pretty strong for the most part, you have very little defense capabilities and you're a huge target. I mean, you're a really easy target. You're massive. And so I think for the most part, he's just okay. He's fun. I will say, I really think he's fun. I love his range attack where he does like the clap and it like shoots this big sound wave towards somebody. I really love that move. And I do think his ult's kind of underwhelming. It's cool how he turns into the big monster. He just does not enough damage as that to do a real game changer. And even that, his ult where he grabs somebody and then like slams them a bunch of times and then stomps on them, that doesn't do enough damage either. Like, you would think that's like an instant kill. You could just grab somebody and like instantly kill them and boom, done. But that's just not how it works. So I think for the most part he's pretty underwhelming. Magneto. I think Magneto is one of the best tanks. He is my tank main. I'm not gonna put him S though. Even though I think he's really good, I do think there are certain aspects about him that other tanks do better. Like, for instance, I think Captain America and Groot are better in the sense of just not dying and just tanking things. But where Magneto does shine is he has a lot of shield options. He has a lot of defense options. And if played really well, like if you hit a lot of your shots, his attack can be really good. Especially if you are paired up with Scarlet Witch. If you have a Scarlet Witch on your team and you get that team up ability where Magneto gets a sword and he basically does these huge slash attacks that are ranged as well, he becomes instantly one of the best characters in the game with that. If permanently you were with Scarlet Witch, I would say S tier, but I think for the most part he is just a really great tank. I don't think he's like easily the best, or I don't think he's easily one of the best characters in the game. I just think he's really good. He is a top tier tank, especially when paired up with Scarlet Witch, but that's just not always going to happen. So I think depending on that, it will determine where you put him. I will put him at the top. I will put him near the top. I'll put him above Jeff. I might even, yeah, I'll put him at the top of it, because I would debate putting him S, but I'm just not gonna do that. All right, moving on. We are gonna go Penny Parker. I think Penny's pretty solid. I'm gonna do B. I've yet to find Penny a big issue, a big problem. But I do think if you play her right, she can be really interesting with all her mines, and her ult is weird. And I do think she has a lot of movement options. She has grappling hooks. She can climb on walls, do all that stuff. I just don't think she's particularly special in any way. But I don't think she's particularly bad in any way. I think she's just an overall pretty well balanced tank. She does have a lot of health too, which I can't appreciate. The next one we're going to be doing is Thor. I think Thor is also a top 3 tank, in the sense of this dude has a lot of options. Not really a lot of options, but like, he doesn't feel like a typical tank in the fact that, all right, let me place a shield here. Let me just tank all these people. Let me just like try to 1v1. No, this dude has some range attacks. He has close range attacks. He has this weird hammer meter where like if you spend 3 hammers, you go into this like lightning mode where you can shoot lightning bolts. He has a thing where you can do like a little dash upwards or forwards. And I do think he does have a shield in terms of like a dome, but he can't primarily defend me or a teammate. But I do think he is a great point clearer. He is a great point pusher. I think where he really stands out in terms of tank is he's really good for one-on-ones, whereas if I'm playing Magneto or Venom or Hulk or Doctor Strange and a DPS runs up on me, I'm probably gonna get destroyed in a way. Whereas if I'm playing Thor, I think he has a really good chance at winning that 1v1 because he does have a lot of attack. And I love that. I think just his defense is where it comes in a little bit short, whereas that's the opposite of Magneto. I think his defense is really good. I think his attack can come up short unless paired with Scarlet Witch. But yeah, I'm gonna go with that. And then Venom, I mean, genuinely, I think Venom, the first day me and my friends were playing this, we thought Venom was easily the best character in the game because he has so much health and he could do like a healing or shield thing where he then gets like 500 more health or something like that. As the days have gone on, I have found him less and less of a problem. However, I have found him really good in terms of like when we have a Venom. If I'm Mantis specifically and I just keep slapping heals on Venom, this dude does not die, and this dude is really good. I don't think he's a very good kill maker. He doesn't feel really easy. He doesn't have very high damage output. He's very versatile in terms of movement. I think his ult is whatever, kind of. But I do think where he just comes in as such a great character is the fact that he's so much health and he is a great dive character. He can rush a point and stay in there for a while. He does win games in that sense. I just don't think he has caused... I don't think he moves a lot of games in a way where it's like, oh, because we had that Venom, we won. I think Venom helps out in a lot of that ways. I don't think he's the definitive game changer. I would debate putting him A. I would even debate putting him S. I would debate putting him B. I think there's a lot of ways you could look at this. I think paired up with a healer specifically, he could be A or S. I think just as it stands though, I think I am going to go A here. I'm going to put him below Thor, but I do think he is a top 3 tank as well. I generally think Magneto, Thor, and Venom are the top 3 tanks in the game right now. I think you could argue Captain America because of just how this dude never dies, as well as Groot. But I think both of their damage outputs are just lower in terms of Venom, Thor, and Magneto. Moving on to damage. DPS, duelist, if you will. Black Panther. Black Panther, I think, is one of the worst characters in the game. To put it simple, I don't see him really ever, and when I do, he's just never a problem. He dies super easily. He's not really fun to play, in my opinion. He can be, but I just don't. I think there's so many better options. Unfortunately, I do think Black Panther is a bottom tier character in this game right now. I would love to see him get bumped. Give him a movement speed. That would be awesome. Just give him a permanent movement boost so he's a lot faster. That could make him a lot more interesting in a lot of ways. Because, let's be honest, he's just Wolverine without the Wolverine abilities. He just runs up on you and starts slashing. And And Wolverine is just a much better character when it comes to that playstyle. So I do think Black Panther just kind of gets trumped over everybody. Black Widow, she's good. I don't think she's the best sniper. I think there are better snipers in the game. Outside of the fact that she can snipe, I don't think she does anything particularly special. So I'm just going to go with that. Hawkeye is easily the best character in the game. I think top 3 for sure. His damage is just probably the highest in the game. He's really easy to play. He's really fun to play. He's one of my mains. Just because I love bow and arrow and I love playing Hanzo, and so I love that. But also, yeah, he's just really good. And so easily just a top 3 character. Hela, I also low key might put S here. It's either S or A for Hela. I didn't realize this until one of my friends started playing her, and until I started like looking into more videos and just how people are playing Hela. Her damage, movement, versatility, and her ult all can just be super game changing if done right. Like, this is a character that can literally win games because of just how well you play in terms of your accuracy, in terms of your IQ when playing. She can win games. And that's what makes an S tier character, is does picking that character help you win a game? I do think she does. I would debate putting her S. I really would. In the sense, because like I don't feel like any tank specifically, like you can pick a tank and be like, picking this tank is gonna help us win. I don't think there is a tank like that yet. I think there's definitely a support, and I think her name is Mantis because she does the most healing. I think there are damages in terms of Hawkeye and Hela. I think if you wanted to put Hela A, the argument's for sure there. I think the only argument would be just she doesn't do as much damage as Hawkeye per se, but she's just really good. She's really good. So I'm gonna go with that. Iron Fist. Iron Fist is S tier. Iron Fist is S tier. I think Iron Fist is also a top 3 character right now. For the simple fact, this dude does not lose one-on-ones. He just does not lose one-on-ones. And the problem is, if you're a smart Iron Fist, he will target your healers instantly. That is the first enemies he goes towards. Healers. And he will win those one-on-ones 9 out of 10 times. The only reason he doesn't win those is if somebody else comes in and helps, but that really happens because he's super fast, a lot of movement, a lot of options when it comes to abilities. He has like he can heal himself, he can do like this kick and then dash forward, he can go into like this ultimate punch mode. His ult is just even more ultimate punch mode. The fact that he just locks on to enemies too, you don't really have to aim in a certain sense. This dude is broken. I just don't think he does like as much damage as Hawkeye, so I'm not gonna say he's better than him, but I'm not gonna say he's worse than him either. In a way, he's easily top 3. Like Hawkeye and Iron Fist are easily a top 3 character right now in the game. Moving on, we're gonna go Iron Man. I think Iron Man is. I'm gonna go. I'll be honest with you. The best part about Iron Man is his ultimate. His ultimate is basically a nice point clear. I just don't think he's very good. I've just never found him an issue. Like I always defeat him really easily, and he very rarely defeats me outside of his ultimate. And I do think there is just a far superior flying character, and her name is Storm. I just think she does a lot more for the team. I don't feel like Iron Man does a lot for the team. I think he's just a really fun character to play. I will say that he's very fun. Yeah, I'm just gonna go C. I think he's an okay character. I just don't think he really does a lot. Magic, I think, is really good. If you play Magic really good, she can be a top tier character. But I think for the most part, she's going A for me. I've seen really good Magics, Christian included. But then I've seen really bad Magics, and I've seen just like in the middle Magics. I think a fun thing about Magic is you can choose how to play her. You can choose to be that high DPS. You could choose to be a point clear. You can choose to be a flanker. You could choose to be a lot of different magics. And so I can appreciate a character that does that. So I'm gonna go A tier with her. Moon Knight. You know, it's funny because I originally was not a fan of Moon Knight playing the game. I just didn't. I thought he was kind of generic, but when you really get into his moveset and everything that he does, I do think he is an A tier character. I think he has a lot of damage output. He can be a flanker. The problem I think with him compared to something like Magic or like you know, Hawkeye or Iron Fist is him winning one-on-ones is a lot more difficult. I'm not saying it's impossible. You could definitely win one-on-ones with Moon Knight, but I think it's more difficult, and I don't think his point clearing or point capturing is as good as other ones like Magic. But when it comes to being a flank, when it comes to staying in the background, when it comes to being that ranged damage, he does have a lot of great abilities and moveset capabilities when it comes to that. His ult does unfortunately fall flat. I think his ult has not really been all that useful. But for the most part, I think he's a really fun character, and I think he's really good as well. Like he's definitely a character I would not be upset about if a teammate picked him on our team. Namor is going D. I've again kind of just like Black Panther. He can be fun, but he's just I've yet to see him really bring anything to the table when it comes to a team comp. And so yeah, I mean pretty much just that. I do love his ult though. His ult's so fun. Like it's so satisfying to see that whale just splash down. Really fun. The problem with him. His little squid turrets are cool, but like let's just be honest, Loki has better turrets, and Loki's a support class. And then let's also be real, Namor has one of the most useless abilities in the game. He goes into this shield form where he puts like a water bubble around him and he starts floating up in the sky. It's literally so useless. It does nothing. It's literally just like a time staller. It just stalls time. That's really it for like two seconds. It's very useless in my opinion. Psylocke. Low-key could debate putting Psylocke S tier, but I am going to go with A. I'm going to put Psylocke more close to the top. I'm going to put Psylocke right behind Luna Snow. I'm going to put Moon Knight above Thor. I'm going to put Magic above Moon Knight, though. I'll put Captain America right below Venom. Below Jeff. Yeah, I'm going to do that. Also, hang on. Let's reorganize this. I do think Adam Warlock actually, I think Black Widow's the best there. Yeah, I'll go with that. I think Iron Man's better than those two. Yeah, okay. I do think Namor is better than Black Panther. All right. Yeah, Psylocke's really, really good. Her ultimate is very, very good. Her flanking is very, very good. Her damage output is very, very good. I do just think outside of like being a flanker high damage, I don't think you have very many other options. Like she really just works in a team, whereas compared to like Hawkeye or Iron Fist, you can just basically win every one-on-one. Whereas I think Psylocke will take a little bit more to do that, and I don't think she's a very good point clear outside of her ult. Her ult, ooh, very, very good. Yeah, the Punisher. Honestly, I would debate saying one of the most fun characters. I mean, he's just so simple and he's so effective. I could even make the argument for S tier again. I'm going to go A tier. I'm going to put him, honestly, above Psylocke. I think he's one of the best damages in the game. For the simple fact that he just has an insane damage output. Like, his damage output is just crazy. Especially if you're fighting a tank and you pull out that shotgun. Oh my gosh, it's so satisfying. It's so good. Unfortunately, where Punisher does not make the S tier cut for me is his smoke grenade. I feel like is kind of useless. It's kind of a waste of an ability in my opinion. I would much prefer him have like a sprint ability, kind of like Captain America or something, outside of a smoke grenade, because I don't think the smoke grenade does really anything for you. But outside that, I think his turret's really good. I think his ult's really, really good. Very, very good character. Scarlet Witch. Here's the thing. She's either A tier or S tier. Honestly, I think I might have to go S tier. For the simple fact, she has, in my opinion, the best ultimate in the game. Because it is the ultimate point clear, and it's just instant kill pretty much instantly. But even outside of that, I think she has very good damage output. I think her moveset can be pretty versatile in a lot of ways. I think she pairs up. Like, here's the thing. If you have Magneto, let's just say you put Magneto in S tier here. Like, this team right here in S tier is kind of insane. Because you're going to have pretty much a perfectly balanced tank, great defense, great offense because of Scarlet Witch. A lot of options. You're going to have Scarlet Witch, which is a pretty good damage dealer, and a really good boost for Magneto, and the best ult in the game. You're going to have Hela, which has insane movement and a great ultimate, great damage, and a sniper. You're going to have Mantis, the best healer in the game. You're going to have Iron Fist, debatably the best one-on-one character. And then you're going to have Hawkeye, who's just broken. Like, that team right there is just so good. Again, I don't think Magneto is S tier for the simple fact that you're not always going to have Scarlet Witch. And outside of that, his damage cannot, it is just good. It's not great. Where I don't think Scarlet, I think you can make the argument for her being A tier because, I mean, her damage isn't like insane or anything. I just think she's really great. Unfortunately, her ultimate is just so hard to just look over. Like, it's literally the best ultimate in the game. I think you have to put S tier. Like, I can't recall the amount of times in a game where me and my friends were like, we lost because of that Scarlet Witch's ult. Like, literally, there were so many times where you're just like, yep, Scarlet Witch is ulted. We lost. That's it. And it's just that kind of character. I think I have to put S. Even though I do think she falls short in some degrees compared to other characters, I just think she has what you want out of a character. A game-winning ability. So, yeah. I'll go with that. Spider-Man, honestly, I'm going to go... That's tough. I got to go A tier. At first, I thought Spider-Man was kind of mid. And then I thought Spider-Man was kind of broken. I think he's just really great. I think if you are a good Spider-Man, Spider-Man is insane. He's super annoying. He's super just very effective. But I do think there are a lot of bad Spider-Mans, and I do think he's kind of just, he's not top tier, but he's just really, really good. A lot of movement, great damage, good stuff. Squirrel Girl is really fun. I think she's solid overall, though. I don't think she has an ability that's necessarily a game changer. She just has a lot of damage and really, really fun to play. Pretty simple. Star-Lord, pretty much the same thing. I think he's super fun. I think he does a lot of damage, but I don't think he has a game-changing ability. I will say his ult is definitely on the better side. I might put him top of B tier, honestly. I think his ult, if done right and if played well, can be really, really great, but for the most part, I think he's just really, really solid. Storm is like, I would say, my main, like, my favorite character in the game right now. I just don't know where I'd put her. There are a lot of games where I feel like switching off of Storm because she's just not feeling as effective as some games. But when she starts getting in the groove, and when you start really playing Storm really, really well, she is a really, really great character. The fact that she can speed boost your entire team, the fact that she can damage boost your entire team, the fact that her ultimate is such a great point clearer and just offensive ultimate. And the fact that she can fly and she has pretty good damage output just with her primary gun. If paired with Thor, she's even better. I think she is A tier. She is really, really good. I just don't think she's always going to fit the team comp. I'll say that much. She's not always going to fit the team comp. And she is not necessarily all that great when it comes to one-on-ones. She's definitely a crowd control damage, which we need that. That's also Psylocke is a great crowd control damage. Punisher's great crowd control damage. Moon Knight's great. Moon Knight's probably, honestly, Moon Knight might be one of the best crowd control damage. I think Storm and Moon Knight are probably the best crowd control damages in the game. I think Storm is really good. I would put Storm just above Jeff, right below Venom. I would say that. Squirrel Girl, I'd put in between Rocket and Adam, or I put her above Adam. But yeah, I'm gonna go with that. All right, moving on. We're gonna go with Winter Soldier. Very fun character. I'll say that much. His revolver, his arm stuff, his ultimate, if done right, can just go like over and over and over again. So awesome. I've yet to find Winter Soldier be an absolute game changer, though. I think if you find a highly elite skilled player who just never misses headshots or just always hits their shots, he can be destructive. I just think he's overall a really good character. I don't think he stands out for me personally, from my current experience. Wolverine, super annoying. I'll say that much. But for me personally, I've found him a lot easier to kill than some others. I think you could easily say A tier here. I think you say B tier. I think some might even argue S tier, but I definitely don't think S tier. I'm gonna go A. He's definitely one of the best up close damages. I mean, I can't argue with that. I'll put him below Spider-Man though. I do think he's below all these characters. Like I said, there's a lot of A's. I mean, there are a lot of just great characters in this game. I do think these are the top 5 for me. I'll put Mantis below these. I'll put Scarlet Witch there. Yeah. I think that's what I'm gonna go with here. This is my S tier. I do think the best character in the game right now is Hawkeye and Iron Fist. I think Scarlet Witch has the best ultimate in the game. I think Hela. I think Hela is overall, like, outside of Iron Fist and Hawkeye being broken good, I do think Hela might just be the overall best character in the game. She just has insane movement, pretty good health, great ability, great ultimate, great damage output. She's long range. She could be close range. Like, she really has it all. I think Hela might be the overall best balanced character in the game while still being really, really good. And then Mantis is the best healer in the game to me. And then, yeah, I will say I do think Magneto is probably the best tank in the game, but I think Thor and Venom are close seconds or thirds. I think Luna Snow is definitely top 2 healer. Some might argue the best healer. I could even see that argument. I just think Mantis, in terms of like how much healing, Mantis does have more healing. Punisher's really fun, really effective. Psylocke, Magic, really, really great. There's a lot of good characters. I do think the worst, though, are Black Panther, Namor, Hulk, Doctor Strange, and Iron Man. I've found those kind of just really easy to overcome. But outside of that, I think this game is really fun. I think this game is really awesome. I think there's a lot of great characters. I'm really interested to see how the first balancing patch comes in and what all gets changed. But for the most part, I think this game is in a great state, and I just can't wait to see where it goes. But thank you all so much for watching. I know it's a long one, but a lot of characters to talk about. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Johnny Moore out. Peace.